Hello, everybody. It's Saturday night, and I've decided we're going to go a little bit lighter on topic matter. Yeah, the other night was much needed discussion, but I had some feedback from people that said because they didn't really know a lot about gaslighting, that it made them dive deep into their life, and it was a little heavy. So, since it's Saturday night and it's the weekend, we're going to go up with the energy. So, let's get started. You're with Dear Dana. Oh no. Did you guys hear a word I said? Tell me yes or no in the chat. Was I on mute? Was I muted down? I know I went live this time. Good. It was telling me I was muted for some reason. Anyway, tonight's topic is dating delights and dating disasters. I know we've had all of those, and I know we've got a boatload of stories that we can share. Because I can go all the way back to when I started dating, when you don't know what you're doing, when you're just way excited to even be dating whatsoever. Oh, thanks, Vintage Optimism. Safe! Yeah, we all want to hear those words today, don't we? You're safe. You can go out and breathe. You don't need a mask. You can hug everybody. You can love everybody. You can kiss everybody if you want to. I know there's a lot of people that I want to. Hello, Jenny M. So happy you're here. She is my family. See who else is here. I think at this moment, it's just us, you guys. Anywho, I know we usually have stalkers that aren't checking into the chat. I wish you would. I see you out there. I especially know that you're there, even though I don't know you're there. Well, that didn't make any sense. I know you're there, even though I don't know who you are. And I'm so happy that you're there, or here with us. This is a positive channel. We do talk about some things at times that are heavier in the psychological, sociological, sometimes spiritual areas. And we talk about updated things. We open up the chat so we can have viable discussions. So we can really get down to the heart of the matter. And so we can touch base because so much of the time we run around working, doing our jobs, coming home, eating, sleeping, and just creeping up on the stalkers, just living our life almost in robot fashion without really checking in with ourselves about how we feel about things in the world, how we feel about how we're functioning in the world, how we just feel. When our feelings are what really drive us, if you think about it. From the minute you wake up in the morning, you are really registering with, either I don't feel like getting up, or what's going to happen at work that day, what you feel like with the weather. Do you feel sick? Do you feel happy? Are you excited about something? How you feel about the traffic or the person ahead of you. If you really think about it, about every second of our life, we're functioning off feelings, even if we don't register it. So we really need to check in with ourselves and not squash it somewhere. That's what gets us in trouble so much of the time. We compartmentalize so much of it into our body, into our psyche, and we don't check in with ourselves, that a lot of times, wherever we tend to compartmentalize it in ourselves, whether people want to believe it or not, can trigger illness or depression or a myriad of other things. Clumsiness, not paying attention to what you're doing at work. So I am asking you, I'm asking you on my channel, I'm asking you to check in with you, to get involved with yourself, not become self-involved in a selfish and egocentric way. I'm asking you to do, for lack of better, an emotional check. Maybe a mental health check. So that you can open up to all aspects of your life and live a more full life. And not just function on, there goes that cat again. That cat has been quiet this whole day, and he hears me talking to you guys, and there he goes. I don't know if you can hear him or not. Hello, Adam. I'm so happy to see you here. I love seeing my friends come that I'm connecting with every week. You just don't know how much I love it. Because we're building a community and it feels like a family. And I don't think I'm scary. Yes, that's Victor. I think Victor wants to have his own channel. And he is a big old cat. One minute that cat can be so loving and want to lick me or want me to cuddle him. And the next minute that cat is stalking me. And when I try to leave the room, he'll run up and wrap his legs around my leg and bite my leg. He doesn't draw blood. He just bites my leg real quick. I don't know what that's about. Personality of his own for sure. But be that as it may, back on topic. Before we get to the dating thing, I'm just preempting this conversation with, I want to teach, Victor, yeah. I want to teach us all and remind myself too, to learn to check in with ourselves, to make it important. You know, it's as important as learning to get a little more physical or watching your diet or being kinder to yourself in the same way that you're kind to other people. Yeah, he definitely has control issues. He's like a bad boyfriend. So I'm going to ask the chat while we're small, and I'm hoping that more people will come. Unfortunately, on my little YouTube thumbnail, it cut off where it said YouTube. So I'm hoping people will get where I added it in the description box that it was YouTube, that they're supposed to come here. So anyway, at least maybe the people that don't want to come and chat and are watching will know that it's YouTube. But those that are like stalking, come in the room. You don't have to come up on the screen, and nobody's going to bite you in the chat. It's not a scary thing. Everybody's friendly. And you know, you can just say hello. You don't have to say anything else if you don't want to. We're just hanging. You can have your glass of wine if you want to. I'm having Coke Zero. Yeah. I probably only have a drink twice a year. Hello. I'm hoping I'm not going to butcher your name. And tell me if I am. Marzia? You can break it up and tell me how to pronunciate it. Marzia or Morze. Please tell me how to say it properly. I want to say it the right way. T, good deal. Marzea or Marze. Welcome. So happy to have you here. Tonight's kind of like a virtual party night. We're sharing our war stories and our good stories. Marzi. Oh, that's cool. Hey, Marzi, that's cute. We're sharing our good stories and our war stories so that those that come behind us know the better way to date and that to look out for. I'm going to go back to when I was 16. My first serious boyfriend, let's take a sip. My first serious boyfriend, he was on a tennis team. And girl, I thought he was so fine. And I'm sure I'm older than some of you. And you may not remember who George Michael is. George Michael. Who remembers who George Michael is? I want your sex. Ooh, I said that, didn't I? George Michael. Do you remember him, Jenny? Fine. Let me tell you, I was young and George Michael was older than me, but Lord have mercy on my soul. My boyfriend looked like George Michael. Spit him out. Honey. That was my boyfriend. He was fine. He adored me. I loved him to death. And we were an it couple in high school. But something wasn't right. I could just feel it in my gut. Let me tell you, I'm highly intuitive. JC Bear! Thank you for coming. I am highly intuitive. You can ask Jenny. And we were like this. He was fine. We were an it couple. Fine. I know I keep saying it. He was fine. Something wasn't right. He was beautiful. And he loved me to pieces. But I just knew something was off. And I felt it in my gut. And look, it wasn't I was a virgin. I was a virgin all through high school. I'll just tell you right now. But he was fine. But my radar was going off. And I felt like he was deceiving me. But I don't think he knew he was deceiving me. He didn't know he was deceiving me for sure. But the truth of the matter was, he was more JC Bear's type. And I knew it in my gut. Yes, he was. And I just felt like he wasn't telling me the truth. And I didn't come out and say it, but I felt it. And I just couldn't stay with him because I knew he was deceiving himself too. But I loved him to death. But I just had this way about me. Yep, I had this way about me that I had a tendency to fall in love with beautiful men. And a lot of the time, they were not playing on my team. But he pursued me. Let me just be clear. And he still wanted me even after I broke up with him. And we still connected not that long ago. His parents loved me to death. They wanted us to get married and have babies. Of course, that didn't happen. But, honey, he was just so fine. He's still so fine. Let me just say. He sent me a picture recently. I don't have it on hand, but he's still so fine. And on that note, I'm going to get everybody relaxed just for a second because it makes me so sad. Oh, Lord, have mercy. Oh, I think I'm getting calmer now. Let me raise the vibe in this room. Yes, Marty, he was deceiving himself. I do have to say that. Oh, I'm breathing again. But what a way for me to start my dating career. Okay. I know I can't have them all on my team, but let me just tell you, the most beautiful men play on the other team. It's just the truth. It's the truth. And with that being said, and since I have raised the vibe in the room, I think I would be doing everyone just a favor. If we get this party started. Have you got your drinks on? Come on, get your dance on. Let's do the same. Oh, it went off. Well, let me just say. Okay, I don't know what this is, but it's free. I'm going to start putting the link down. But feel free to come up, everybody. Come on, come on. Who wants to come up and start this? Talk about your best and worst. Gonna start slowing it down now. Ready for people to come on up and talk. Okay, I'm cutting down the music. She said she can't call in, she's dancing. Yes, let's get the energy up tonight. We're just going to have our virtual party here. Oh, there is my buddy.
Hey, hello. Hello. I'm gonna play a little retro from the 80s. Wait for it.
Is that George Michael?
No, it's the Communards.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, it was a British band, and they did a lot of covers. And you just went on the dance floor, and you just started dancing and so forth. They had female band players. They had violins, the whole thing in their stuff. I love their stuff in the 80s, as well as like the romantics with What I Like About You. Doom, doom. I like how you dance. You know, it's all good, all fun. That was half the fun. So we're doing dating disasters and dating
Delights,
delights.
meaning
Hmm.
bad and good dates.
Bad and good dates. Can we include speed dating?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, my worst speed dating was that I went to a couple of events, and I liked this guy. He said he was a lawyer, said he was a hockey player. Um, played in a hockey league and so forth. So we were chatting and so forth. But he never selected me the first one. And I also, when I went to this event, I went with a friend. And hey, vintage. And when I went with and so we did the whole rounds, and then we compared notes afterwards. So I went to another event about a month later, and he was there. And my friend didn't like him. He liked my friend, but my friend didn't like him. He goes, I don't like hockey. I don't do this. I'm not one of this. Second event, he selected me. So we went out on a date. We had some great coffee at a little cafe. We went to, the gay bookstore, and we were perusing the aisles. We were having good rapport back and forth. Halfway through the date, he turns around and says, "So, tell me about your friend." And I went, "This date is over." I said, "Well, you know what? Maybe you should ask my friend, but you know what? I got to go." So I told my friend about what happened. So we went to a third event. So he purposely checked off his name so that they would meet. And basically, they went out, and he basically read him the riot act and cut him. Oh, yeah, yeah. Like, that's why when you go to these speed date events, it's great if you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend that you can go with,
Yeah.
because you can get different perspectives. Another one of these events, I sat down in front of another gentleman. He sat back, crossed his legs, and goes, "I don't drink, I don't smoke, and I don't dance." So I responded with, "Then what do you do, Eileen? What do you do?" I said, "Now that we've saved ourselves 5 minutes, I'm going up and getting a beer. So you can just sit here and wait for the bell to ring, and we can switch." So, I mean, those are some of my dating disasters, like when you're looking at speed dating.
I could understand the no drinking and the no smoking, but the no dancing, even
Tell
if
me
it's
about it.
ridiculous. I mean, come on.
Oh, yeah. I just looked and I just went, "Okay, next, please." Um,
In those speed dating things, you can't actually push the buzzer ahead of time, so you're just stuck there for 3 minutes.
that's
Longest
true.
3 minutes ever.
Yeah, but I mean, the funniest thing is that with if my friend and I, we turn around to each other and we go, "Can we ring the bell? Ring the bell, please."
Anita Ward, get in here. We need you to sing.
Yes. I mean, I also, in one of the same events, this happened during one of the Pride festivals. We were sitting there. It was a speed dating event. Really nice guy. We were chatting. He goes, "Oh, I'm visiting from Ireland and I'm leaving in 3 days." I'm like, "Uh-huh. And you're here at a speed dating event?" "Well, I was helping my friend, fill out the numbers." I'm like, "Okay. So
He
are
just
you
wanted
looking
booty.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, "Are you looking for something long term, or are you just looking for something maybe to hit it and quit it?" Like,
Yep.
sometimes you really got to be direct and get them. But yeah, those are some of my dating disasters. But when you look at it, you have to take some humor out of it. Otherwise, it's going to drive you crazy, especially nowadays, like virtual and all that. I've had some really great dates where, you go out and you have either, a great dinner or lunch, or, you're meeting for coffee. And the next thing you know, you met at 2 and it's 6 o'clock, and you're like, why is it getting so dark?
Oh yeah.
And I always love it. And I don't know if it's a guy thing, but you ladies can tell me in the room and on the panel. If you really like somebody, do you at least kiss them goodnight on the first date?
Cheek.
Just the cheek?
Depends. Like maybe, little cusp and a little snuggle, little sniff.
Okay, that's better. That's better than.
Can be more intimate than just like a lip kiss, because it depends on how the date goes. Because I feel like I'd be disappointed if it was a great date and then all of a sudden you don't know how to kiss and you're just jamming your tongue down my throat.
Oh God, that's a whole other segment. Let me tell you, I've had everything from blowfish to.
Oh my gosh, blowfish! I can't believe that.
No, we talked about some of that tonight. If they can't kiss, Lord.
Or they try to blow air into your mouth.
Ah.
I'm like, I actually stopped somebody and said, you know what? I can't breathe when you do that. Like, what are you trying to do? Right?
I don't need CPR.
Oh, exactly. I'm like, I'm not your CPR Annie that you have to revive.
Don't suffocate my love.
But that's the other thing. It's like when you go in for that kiss, I can accept a kiss on the cheek with that hug and the little bit of the snuggle. But when you get kissed like your grandma, you're like, maybe this wasn't as good a date as I thought.
Or the slobber kiss.
Oh God, yeah.
Where they slobber all over your face.
I like to call that the Jabba kiss.
Oh my God.
Jabba as in the Hutt.
I mean, if you're going to French kiss somebody, you got to have a good technique, and they also have to be receptive.
Oh, JC Bear, what's your technique?
Oh, well, first of all, if you're doing that long kissing, right, and you know that you have
red,
and you have the hands that are like around the waist or on the shoulders or so forth,
okay,
you kind of have to wait for the recipient to slightly open their lips, and then you just use the tip of the tongue to just slowly kind of like do a little circle dance.
Oh my God.
Inviting them back. Yeah. I mean, if you go in as if you're trying to do a forward frontal attack on the front lines of World War II, that ain't going to be any good. It's like with anything. You kind of like have to tease, warm up, make them feel comfortable. And what I find, like when I was dating women before I accepted myself, and with men, if you get them in the mood, you're in for a good time. There's no need to force anybody or convince anybody. But if you make someone feel comfortable and get them feel wanting and get them, take your time, you can have a rockin' night like you never thought you would than trying to coerce somebody or trying to force somebody,
Yeah, absolutely. It's like Dana says, your vibe attracts your tribe.
Exactly. So
that's true.
So I mean, that's the kind I tried to tell some of the young guys when I was in university, and I was much older than them. I said, "Don't be an ass. Don't be an idiot." I said, you make your advances and then you retreat. Make your advances, but don't force yourself. Or if you have to talk somebody into it, it's not going to thing. It should be like a natural little dance. Now, I don't know your age, Vintage, but Dana, you know that you're a little bit younger than me, but when you were going out and you're doing the whole dating dance, there used to be like a pursuit and then a retreat, like a back and forth. If you were trying to create a rapport, trying to get somebody to like you, like a guy would pursue you, kind of like, and then until you felt comfortable, you kind of gave him that little flirt and, hey, what are you sitting over there for? Come sit with me over here. Like there was a different type of dance than I think there is nowadays. I don't know.
I think guys were afraid of me.
Ones. Pardon me?
I think guys were afraid of me.
I can understand that.
So what now?
I can understand that.
I don't know. I never understood it. I always thought
Why
I
would
was
they be
nice.
afraid of you?
I don't know, but I think they were.
Well, you're gorgeous, smart, and very self-aware, so you can recognize what kind of person you want or don't want in your life, and that kind of self-awareness might make people uncomfortable.
Well, I appreciate that, but I do get that feeling that they were, yeah,
Intimidated.
yeah, something, yeah,
Oh, they probably thought that they couldn't pull a fast one on you.
yeah. That's probably it.
Not. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, come
I
on,
think that's probably it.
come on, Vintage. I've shared a couple of my dating disasters. How about you,
Oh my gosh, I've had so many. Oh, and by the way, I'm 37.
Puppy?
That's a puppy? Check it out. Full on skunk.
So,
Well, at least you still have enough hair. I'm looking like a Yeti. That's why I'm not on cam.
so share.
All right. Okay. Worst or best?
You
Either.
choose.
Okay. My friend convinced me to go salsa dancing when I was in Japan. So we went to Sanomiya in Kobe. And at that time, there was a show called The L Word.
Oh yeah. I watched it.
It was a one-night stand, but this girl, all she did was grab me and was like, "Oh my gosh, you look just like Shane." And I was like, "Yeah, this is gonna be awesome." Worst one-night stand ever. I woke up still drunk, and I was trying to crawl out of the apartment until I realized it was mine. So I actually had to make breakfast and be like, okay, this was fun. Sure, phone number, nice. Let me walk you to the train station. Bye. It was bad.
So, what did she try to contact you again?
No, it was pretty much well, she was a little aggressive and it kind of creeped me out. I don't really like people being that possessive over a first date. And it wasn't even a date. It was a situation where we just sort of met.
It's a hookup.
Yeah, it was a hookup. And I thought it was known it was a hookup. We were both drunk. It was a hookup. Both of us are in Japan. It's a hookup. You don't know my real name. Hook up. But then my dumbass brought her back to my place. And then when I'm trying to crawl out, I'm like, oh.
So basically, she had the U-Haul and was ready to move in.
Exactly. Well, because especially the gay community in Japan is very small, and especially among the females there, like there was only one gay club in Osaka, and when I say club, I'm being generous. There were like 4 stools, so it was
wow.
It was very strange. And even the gay pride parade. So there are 2 pride parades that go on that march. One, you can be proud and loud and do your thing. But the other one, you actually have to wear a mask. And there is no photographs. If you take a photograph, you will be arrested.
Wow.
So I think it was a situation, like I know this happened in the 80s because I'm from New York City. Like when you were gay, you kind of just went to a club, you let loose and you did your thing and then you'd go back home. This kind of felt like that, which was really gross for me because I was actually looking for something a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like maybe even a conversation, not like, wow, you look like someone I saw on television. I'm taking you home.
Oh, Lord, have mercy.
More. Well, New York City is tough in the LGBT hookup meeting bar scene, and I'll tell you one thing: the LGBTQ community is quite straightforward. If you're not their type, they don't mince words.
You mentioned. I heard you on Shannon Van when you were describing like. Our community is actually the most discerning. You're too this, you're not this, you're that, too much that. It's very confusing, especially in dating because, especially in our community, like some people want butch, soft butch, or you're too girly. I'm sorry. Oh no,
You're either too mask or not mask enough, or you're too old, you're too young, you don't have enough hair, you're too hairy, you're too fat, you're too thin. You're not heavy enough. There's a whole gambit that you have to run around that you don't in the straight community.
Well,
Yes.
if you're a woman, period, you're to a myriad of things. You know what I mean? You've been married, you have kids. We don't want somebody that has kids. You are too big, you're too small, you're too short. I had one guy was like, "Well, your neck is just long enough." What the heck does that mean?
I don't want to. I have ideas that I don't want. That's gross.
No, it wasn't about that. It wasn't about that. He was a neurologist, and he was young, and he was divorced, and I had my son, which I lost, but he was handicapped. And I was a single mother, and he just had a thing. He liked long necks on women. It was just an aesthetic thing, and I don't have a long neck. I don't have a short neck, but I don't have a long neck. And it was just he was different. Let's just put it that way.
But that is interesting that you bring up aesthetics, because there are in certain African tribes where they extend the neck specifically because it is for aesthetic purposes. Same thing as planting in China.
There was just, different things. And this was before I happened to meet him in a neurology group, because my son had seizures, and I was trying to find out as much information as I could. Hey, Paranormal Witch Pixie, thank you for coming. I was trying to find out as much information as I could about seizures. So I was in that group asking parents, and he had mild seizures. So let me tell you, throughout my son's life, I basically learned a myriad of things in the medical field before I actually started working as a psychotherapist. I used to work at a hospital, and I worked at family and individual therapy, but I also worked at an emergency room. And every time they had psych patients come in, they would call me, and I would take those patients. I would do intake on those patients and figure out their treatment plans, where they were going to go, if I was going to admit them or let them go and put them in a program. That was my job. So anyway, long story short, I'm backtracking. That's how I learned a lot of stuff. But I went to the seizure chat group, and he was in there, and he started talking to me. And we started talking more and more and more and more, and he became interested. So he decides he's going to go to North Carolina to open up, from Pennsylvania to North Carolina to open up his practice, because that's where his mom and dad were. But he wanted to come meet me and date in person and I was in Georgia, and see if we could start seeing each other. Well, we meet, and I was going to actually meet him at my professor's house, to be safe, to have other people there.
Yep. Very smart.
And he wanted to go to dinner, and I was supposed to meet him on the way there and go to the restaurant. He couldn't wait. He went ahead and ate.
Oh my God.
Jerk.
Yeah.
Flag number one.
That's a huge, and that's flag number 1.5. That's a huge flag. I'm sorry. That's disrespect.
What?
How do you
So we go to my mentor's house, and we talk and everything, and they decide they're going to go to a movie and leave us alone for a couple hours. We can talk and see each other. So the next day, my professor was going to cook a big dinner. We had dinner at their house. Everything went fine. He wanted to come by and see my house, and we chatted. And he thought I was going to let him stay at my house and leave the next day. Nope. And nope. So I made him a bag lunch. I put food and a treat and vegetables and a canned Coke and all that stuff in it.
Send him a note.
I did. And I put him a note in it and a napkin. I sure did. And told him I enjoyed spending time with it. And it was something for the road.
Something for the road. I love that.
And he got upset, and he goes, "You're not going to let me stay here?" And I said, "No, I'm sorry, I can't." Nope. So he was just like in dismay and could not believe it. And he got in his car and he sat there for, I know, 30 minutes before he drove off, like he thought I was going to run to his car and change my mind. This is a neurologist. And he even tried to give me a perspective of what he thought my son's future might be, which I didn't ask him and I didn't appreciate.
Yeah, that's
another thing that teed me off.
That's when somebody's ego is way too big for their britches.
Thank you.
I was about to say the same thing. Yes, exactly that.
So I said goodbye next. And so he went home and called me and was still acting like a puppy with his tail tucked and said that on the way home he cried. And I said, well, I'm just so sorry that this is something that's not going to work out, that he was not thoughtful enough to me.
Yeah, some men have a very hard time accepting no.
Thank you.
No, they do. They do. There are some that think it is, and in some instances, it is a direct attack and reflection of their ego. And, well, how could you say no to me? I'm a neurologist.
Exactly that.
Like, the job is them, and if it's an impressive title or an impressive job, they think that's enough.
Well, two, I think people, because I was divorced and I had a handicapped child, one,
he felt he could take advantage of that situation.
Take advantage of that situation because, my predicament. And number three, people make the assumption, and this is the truth, because of my accent, they make the assumption often that you're dumb. And it's the truth.
That is the truth.
And I am not dumb.
Oh, we know that.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, we know that. But yeah. When you have somebody whose ego is that big, yeah, who doesn't even have basic manners, yeah, that's the very first thing you can tell.
Oh,
if a guy or a girl doesn't have, basic manners or showing basic respect for each other, yeah, red flag, ladies. It's time to exit. Listen, my dad came off the boat. He was a construction worker. The whole thing. He came home. I worked with him for 2 summers. It's dirty work, dusty. You come home grimy, sweaty, smelly, the whole thing. But when it was time to go out, best of clothes, his favorite pair of shoes, he looked like $1 million, and he treated my mom like that. Now, I'm not going to get into the other details of it, but if you don't have, basic respect for each other, then yeah, it's time to get out. Pull the plug, throw the grenade.
I've met a lot of people who try to hide behind their professions. So they're still disgusting people, but because they are a lawyer or something like that, they feel like they can get away with doing terrible things because they work hard. So shouldn't you just appease their whatever, lust or greed or whatever? Especially, I was working in the hospitality industry and I'd see people just walk over others just because they felt that it's beyond entitlement, I think.
Oh yeah, people put too much hierarchy in it. I worked in a hotel. I worked in laundry, which was considered the lowest, the lowest rung of the totem pole. But front desk staff would treat the maids and us laundry staff like we were beneath them.
Yeah.
But they always had to come to us because guess who was being sent to the guests? I was providing the towels and sheets, and the maids were the ones that were delivering it to them. So yeah, I totally get where you're coming from, Vintage. Totally get it.
Paranormal says she doesn't know how to date again.
Oh, me neither. Never again. I'm a dog person now. My dates are either with a doctor's appointment, which I consider social affairs.
Vintage. You are too young. And if you're a dog person to have a doggy, you know when you go to the dog park, that is an instant.
No, my dog kills other dogs. No. She's a rescue, and she really likes squirrels and small
All
koalas
dogs love squirrels.
a little bit too much. But yeah, I wish I could just go to the dog park and be like, "Hi, I'm fabulous. Are you fabulous too?" But dating now is completely different. Especially now, I don't have Instagram or tweeters.
Twitter.
Oh yes, that thing.
Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, and I don't know what else is coming up next. So,
Jenny
but
says,
What was it?
Jenny says, I've never even kissed another human on this planet, so I have no dating stories. Jenny married her high school sweetheart.
What?
And she married her high school sweetheart. She was with him for 18 years. And in the last couple of years, she lost him to a cardiac arrest. She's young. And she was pregnant. And she has a baby. Oh, he's adorable. Billy, that just turned 1.
My heart goes out to her. That my cousin, her daughter, her partner died on the day her daughter was born. Cancer spread all the way through his body, and so my cousin Annie and her daughter are just alone. So my heart goes out to Jenny. Yeah,
but Jenny is one of the brightest lights that you've ever. She's beautiful. She's spiritual. She's smart, and she has a great attitude. So she doesn't know how to date, but let me tell you, she is a package.
But I think it's similar to you. Like, even when you mentioned online dating and you were your friends pushed you into this situation, you're like, all right, so if I want to date, these are my requirements.
Oh, I'm
so I feel like Jen,
my ad was not an ad. My ad was like,
I know.
I got to go on mute for a minute.
Woo! AT2's here. Hello, AT2. We're talking about
my God,
lights and dating disasters.
But a dating delight vintage, Dana.
Yeah.
Chat room. Let me take you on a journey. Picture it. June 2020, or pre-pandemic. No, maybe it's been one of when we were out of our lockdown. I'm there with my friend. We go down to Church Street, which in Toronto is where the gay village is.
I know Church Street.
Oh, okay. Oh, we'll talk later, vintage. You naughty girl, you naughty woman. So we go down. We go to Craig's Cookies after we have brunch, and I pick up like some really nice, awesome cookies and so forth. I didn't realize it, but in when we're standing distance, there's this guy, and I just basically smile and say hi, and he says hi back, and we're chatting about the cookies. I go and get my cookies. I go out. I can't wait till I get them home. So I start munching on one of them. It's like, arr, 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 arr. So we're out there and we started chatting. He's a puppy. He's like 28. He's so we're chatting and chatting and chatting and chatting. And he goes, oh, well, would you like to talk? And I'm like, sure. So we exchange digits and I say, okay, I'm heading home. Before I even got, halfway home, I get a ding, friend request on Facebook. Ding this. I'm like, oh my God, I am just, he likes
you adopted a puppy.
Yes, I adopted a puppy almost. So we end up chatting, find out, what foods do you like, what movies, We go out, we have a great brunch, we sit down, we're chatting and so forth. Nice guy, funny, educated, but there was no romantic spark from me.
Oh.
But he's a good guy, but it's kind of like, it was a great date, but it just, the connection wasn't there on a romantic level for me. And well, first of all, I was like, my ego got all puffed up. It's like, oh my God, here's somebody that much younger, and we're going out. It's like, oh, okay, cool. But I mean, it was good that way. Nothing wrong with this gentleman. Nice looking. We were chatting about education. We were talking about different things happening and things, where he was from, where I was from. But I did not get that romantic thing. And you know what? At first, I kind of beating myself up about it, because I'm like, why aren't I feeling it with this person? He's a good, nice guy. And then I realized it's just not there. And, you got to be upfront with them and go, if you want to go out as friends, I have no problem with that. You want to go out and have a beer, but I'm not feeling that romantic part of it. Yeah. And he kind of went away for a little while, but now he's coming back. And so, I mean, like, I'm getting messages from him now. So, I don't know. It's like nothing ventured, nothing gained, vintage. You can't retire from dating that young, because I am older than you and I'm not retiring from it.
Why not? I love Baby Salinger. I could be a hermit.
Sometimes it goes back to when we were talking about chemistry before. Mm-hmm. So, sometimes they can be the best looking. They can have the best job in the world. You can have great conversations. But if the chemistry's not there, it's just not there. It's just something inside.
Yeah. And I also tried a second time, like going out. Again, a great time, but when you want to kiss somebody at the end of the date, and even if you hesitate, even if you want to make it a more shy kiss, like on the cheek with a little snuggle.
Hey, judgment.
Not judgment, no judgment. It's all good. But I mean, you still want a little bit of butterflies in there,
Yeah.
It's like sometimes when you have those little bit of butterflies, it's like, yeah, I want to see them again, and maybe next time, like, I will rough cougar them to the ground. But I mean, but
if you feel that chemistry, that heavy electric charge, I guarantee you, if you feel that charge so heavily, they are too.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that. Yes.
Yeah. But if I ever get to New York City, vintage, you are not hiding from me. You are coming down. We're going to go to Big Gay Ice Cream, and I'll be your wingman.
Okay, cool.
And I love that. I will sell you to somebody. Not in that way, no. But I mean, I'm a good wingman. So.
Oh.
Not sell and sell. I mean, I'm just be a good wingman. You're too young and you're too talented to be hiding away.
Oh.
And you just have all this energy and personality about you.
Me? Oh, yeah.
Yes, you. Yes.
Oh, thanks.
So, yeah, you're not. If I can get to New York City, you're not hiding up in the Bronx. You're coming down to Times Square or wherever I'm staying.
All right, word, bro. I got you.
And then we can go to Little Italy. Then we can go to Little Italy, because I got to try some of that pizza and cannolis and all those desserts. So.
Oh my gosh, I worked in Soho so many years. I know all the best pizza spots, even in Brooklyn.
See, I'll go to Brooklyn, but some of my friends are Manhattan princesses. They will not cross that bridge, but take me on the subway. We'll go.
Oh, please. We should just ride bikes.
Okay, then let me lose 15 pounds and then we can go.
You'd probably lose that fast. Everyone walks in New York City.
I know.
Even now, everyone's so scared of the trains, they'd rather just city bike it.
Oh,
okay. Dance break. No, that's too slow.
That's too slow.
Oh, wait, what is it? It's good because it's free.
No, it's too slow. Okay, you're too slow. Dance break. Hey, Gina, dance break. Okay, you cut off.
Oh, damn. Mooks, get in on this. Come here.
What are you doing to me? Come on. I want some free music.
Hang on.
Help me. Come on. You
I'm
know,
trying to get my dog in on this, but
I'm tech challenged.
oh, I'm so tech challenged.
And my daughter's not helping me. So when I get big one day, I'll have all this worked out.
You should play West Side Boys.
Get up and do it. Move it.
No, you need a. Hang on.
Oh, JC Bear is he's gonna bring in some 80s. I already know he will.
What is that?
Divine Brown.
I don't know who that is either.
Wow, I thought you guys would have played something.
Hey, doggy.
Yeah, watch out, doggy. Yeah.
What's his name?
Her name is Meek because she's Meek and unusual.
Her? What's her name?
Her name is Mikaela, but I like to call her Meek because she's meek and unusual.
Hello, Meek.
Hey, Meek.
There she is.
Hello, Meek. Hello, Meek. She's beautiful.
My cousin and I actually made both of our scarves.
So does she like people or no?
No, she loves people. People she has no problem with. It's just other dogs.
Oh, gotcha.
I have a feeling she might have been a fighting dog or something like that.
Oh, she a rescue?
She's a rescue. And she had 3 homes before us.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
But
now she has a forever home.
Yeah, she has a forever home. She's an angel. But she's
Aww.
a very vicious one. A very vicious angel. Very vicious. So the rats in New York City, I told you, are the size of Pomeranians. So sometimes when we go to the Fort Tryon Park, she'll just hunt.
Oh.
See, I thought that was a fake news story.
No. I have a friend, a rat came into the kitchen and actually bit her mom. The rat was I remember when I was getting my food handler's license and part of the test, what's the difference between mice and rats? Mice are pretty dumb. You can put a glue trap down and you'll catch them. But a rat, rats are very smart. So, and when you see a rat in daylight, it means that they own that area because they're very territorial and, again, highly intelligent. So if they're coming into your house like, your food is my food. Rabies.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, New York City it's creepy AF. Like, greatest city in the world.
No, I've seen a news article on the rat problem, and I thought maybe, maybe it was just, one of those one-time incidences and all that. But I didn't realize that it was that bad.
Well, the garbage situation is serious because they don't come. So especially when I was at my sister's apartment in the Heights, it'd be like a week and then the garbage didn't come, so it piles up. So of course, if there's garbage, the rats are like, yeah, this is my apartment now. I just live here.
Why are they not coming? Because of the pandemic?
Because of the snow. So they're shoveling snow.
Oh.
They can't be picking up the garbage at the same time. And since of budget cuts and everything like that, no one wants to go the extra mile because everyone's just broke and hungry.
Yeah. Understandable. I'm so sorry to hear that.
Oh, but that's the thing. Ladies and gentlemen of the panel and the chat, how do you ever, when you're taking somebody out, have you ever put them in a situation just to see how they would react?
Yes.
Um, around friends or in situations where I look. I started out university as a dancing, as a dancer, and not on a pole.
You figured not on a pole.
Ooh, now, Dana. So,
So,
were
yeah,
we a go-go girl?
what kind of dancing? Oh,
No, in theater bars, in journalism and dance. So I loved it was a passion, right? I thought I was going to dance, but I switched gears and went into journalism and sociology. Anyway, long story short, love dancing. So if I was dating a guy and he didn't want to dance, go away. Because, I wanted to go dancing all the time. And if they can dance on the floor, that tells you a lot.
But what if they love to dance, but they're like just not good at it?
oh, that's a good question.
I mean, if they were really, really, really bad, that was difficult. But if they tried hard and they enjoyed it, that meant a lot to me.
But I'm going back to the times where it used to drive me crazy when I used to see guys on the dance floor and they'd use the the fingers and look like they were shooting people like, hey, exactly, and pointing. It's like,
Making way too much eye contact.
yes, and they'll be pointing at who they wanted to dance with, and then zooming in.
Now, if they were on the floor, and there's nothing worse than a guy being on the dance floor, he's skeezy. Now, I don't like that. Especially if you're going with the girls and the guys are on the dance floor and they're trying to be skeezy.
Define skeezy, like oily.
Trying to hump all up on you, and you don't know them.
Yeah, that's gross.
Use your crotch to get up. No, thank you. That's gross.
Yeah, there's a difference between dancing and dry humping.
Yeah, I don't like that. Get away.
Yeah. No.
Okay, next question for the panel and our participants. If you're out on a date, guy or girl, nasty to the wait staff, what do you do?
That date's over.
That date's over. That's disrespectful.
I don't want to be with that person anymore. Because that means they're going to treat you like that.
It's a situation where I think you said this before, JCB. I just grab, or I pay for my half of the check and I just leave.
That date's over. Or I just say, excuse me, and I leave, and they can pay for mine.
True. On the other situation was where the person had forgotten their wallet, and this poor lovely young woman was left paying for him and her. This was not.
And she paid for him for a while. They were dating for a while, weren't they? And he kept doing it.
Yeah, and I said, what you do if a guy ever does that to you and you go out on a date and all of a sudden he forgets his wallet, you smile your sexy smile, say, I'm just going to go powder my nose. You grab the wait staff, because it's not the wait staff's problem. So you grab the wait staff thing, and for women, if it's a female wait staff, you can say, you have to get out of this date situation. You'd like to pay for your half. And is there an exit? Is there a staff exit to the place? And you just simply leave him there, and he has to pay for his other half and block his number.
I would like to know, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
If anybody in the chat has questions or wants to share.
Yeah, come on up here, share.
Yeah, do it.
If they're too scared, they can type it. And I know there's stalkers that would love to ask questions. I mean, come in the chat. You see we're not attacking anybody, making them come up on the screen.
I don't know. I feel vaguely attacked.
Why? Because I'm going to be basically taking you down to Little Italy and then going, my girl here, you have to also inform me of your type. The girl who kind of really likes you. Yeah.
I don't know if I have a type. I just know I'm very nerdy, and it's very unusual.
So you like to be geek
Same.
chic unique. Geek
I'm
chic
nerdy.
unique.
Yeah,
I'm-
I love that geek chic unique. That's me.
I'm
Yeah.
nerdy and unusual.
That works. That works.
I'm nerdy and unusual.
Yep. I'm meek and unusual.
My mom calls me weird. She does.
Yeah,
I
my
did
mom
that
calls me weird, but she says it in Spanish, so it always. She always says paciencia, por favor, adiós, paciencia. Like, you really need patience to deal with me. I just came to say hello.
Now, I will say, when, I didn't know, when I first met my husband, I didn't think he was my type. And I was scared to death I was going to break his heart. I went in with, I had a friend of mine that was older than me that was like mother type. She's my good friend. And when he came to my house for a cookout, I made her be there with me. And, because I'd already met him. He's the one that I said, I'm bringing my son, I'm paying for my dinner, you're not getting lucky, and all that stuff.
I remember, yeah.
Yeah, so he came to my house for a cookout. He brought all the food. And so she came over, and I kept telling her, I'm going to break his heart. I'm worried about this. I'm going to end up breaking his heart. I don't think he's my type. I think I should end this. I'm going to break his heart. And she goes, you're panicking because you're worried that there's something here. Because he's the one that I had to come to Jesus talk with, and he's the one that has an accent. So it kept going, and he would do things like come over and bring, God, what is that stuff? The little fish eggs.
Caviar.
I know what it is. My brain, sometimes I can't think of the word. He would bring like caviar and dessert.
The horror, Dana.
And vegetables.
Horrible man.
And things to cook.
Oh gosh, no.
And a special treat. And a special treat for Noah. You know what I mean?
Treats.
Or something, a special toy for Noah. And if he thought my back hurt, he would start rubbing my back. Or, after a while, I just felt real safe and comfortable. And he never pushed himself on me. And he was real wise. You know what I mean? He was just kind of like J.C. Bear said, not pushing himself on me, going with the flow, and just was very thoughtful.
Yeah, that's respect.
That is respect.
And he did respect me, and now my daughter's on here.
I think he knew you. I feel like sometimes, when you mentioned that kind of attraction, sometimes you just know someone.
Yeah.
I think he knew you, and he knew what he wanted, and he was fine with taking time.
And he knew that he just, in his gut, he knew I was highly intuitive. In his gut, he told me that. And he knew I was opinionated. And he adored Noah right out of the gate. And you could tell it was genuine. And the fact, is it just me, or is my picture just every once in a while looks wavy? And it's just on my picture. But
you look fine to me.
Look fine to me.
But he genuinely was drawn to Noah. You can tell when somebody's being fake about it.
Yes, you can.
And my son just was, you could just see this love, right? And when I would see that, it just sucked me in more. So that was one of my best dates ever.
You see, food is not the only way to a man's heart. It's to a woman's heart, too.
It wasn't the food itself. It was the fact he was so thoughtful about it. Because, like I said, I was a single mom. I was taking care of Noah. And I was doing everything to keep all the paddles rolling by myself. And he would look in my cabinet, my cupboard, and realize that all the food items, I was focusing on my son. So he was trying to do things to bring special things in. And I would say, hey, you left your food over here. And he was like, oh, that's okay. Just blah, blah, blah. He was doing it on purpose.
Yeah, he was.
Mm-hmm.
That's really sweet, though. And that's
You know, smart men know how to have a little bit of a strategy when they want to impress, and it's subtle, but it eventually gets the point across.
Yeah.
And you can ask your hubby, Eden, go ask your dad.
Yeah.
If they're smart.
Oh yeah.
But
I said I was never going to get married again.
you know what? I
was
never say
done.
I've learned from the past through various things. Get that smile off your face, Vintage.
Try.
To never say never, because you cut yourself off from a lot of potentially. Now you can also open yourself up to a lot of bad experiences, but there are some wonderful experiences that you can have, be it with activities, meeting people, anything like that. Oh yeah, Eden, it's not just if the guy forgot his wallet, but if you're getting total creeper vibes from someone that you're out on a date, just, do a sexy smile. You got to powder your nose, grab your bag or so forth, grab the wait staff, and do what you got to do to get out of there. And simple as that. Especially nowadays, because you don't know if people around you would actually come to your aid.
Yeah, these days for sure. I mean, seriously. It's sad to say.
That's actually really creepy that you mentioned it, because I think you'd have to use keywords like, I feel uncomfortable. I just want to pay my bills so I can leave. Whatever happens to him is on him or her. I just need to execute this. I need to leave this situation. So just tell me what I need to do so I can leave.
No, I would be like, I need help. I need to get away from the person I'm with. Mm-hmm. They need to take care of theirs. Can you help me get out of here?
Exactly.
Don't try to get him to read between the lines, because you might be there 30 minutes. Let's be real.
Yeah, and if at all possible, even if you have a male wait staff, you may want to grab a hold of a female employee, just because I think they would understand a lot faster the message you're trying to get with. Yeah, you have to embrace your weird. I may not dress weird, but trust me, I have my weird moments.
I don't dress weird.
I actually want your hat.
Oh, thank you. It's very fuzzy.
Yeah, I know. And I'm thinking, God, that would keep my bald spot and my ears so warm in winter.
Yeah, well, you see, I have nothing but fuzz, so.
It looks so cute.
Gunky.
It looks like it'd be very soft.
Well, it's I got it done. It was such a New York moment, too. I went to the barber shop across the street. David came in holding a slice, like, what do you want to do? I just want to shave my head. All right, give me 5 minutes.
I used to have very short hair. I walked out, my mom had a heart attack.
How short?
I was 14 or 15, and I mean, it was like probably...
Like a bob cut?
It was an inch or two all over my head.
Oh my gosh! Punk.
You were going punk.
Yeah, I was actually punk.
Oh my gosh.
I walked in, and a lady named Seaham, I was 14 or 15, and my hair was so curly I couldn't do anything with it. She turned my chair around, and she says, never wear your hair long again. And she cut it short all over and left some long down the back of my neck.
Yeah, you were going punk.
I remember
that era when punk first hit North America.
So I was God. And I walked out. I mean, I was just I hadn't even hit puberty yet. My mom just looked like, well, what am I going to do with this? So she started letting me wear makeup to make sure people knew I wasn't a boy, I guess.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I wore it like that for a long time. It was easier.
So you just decided to. Oh, when you did get your hair chopped, how did guys react to you?
They liked it. I guess it made my eyes look bigger.
And you probably had a little edge. It probably made you look like you had a little bit of an edge.
Yeah, I probably scared them a little more, though. Even
A
though I was,
little more.
But this is the thing with men. I think sometimes they misunderstand nothing ventured, nothing gained.
they
And I
started
think,
calling me Pat Benatar.
oh yeah, she was gorgeous, or I guess she still is gorgeous. Pat Benatar.
Mm.
I used to listen to her music all the time. But she had the she had the short cropped hair and so forth. But you know what? A lot of guys found her hot.
And I was like, who? Because I was little, so young, right? So then I was like trying to find her albums and stuff to figure out who she was because I didn't know if it was a compliment or not.
Oh, it was a compliment. Trust me,
It was totally a compliment.
totally. And she was a fantastic singer, fantastic performer.
Well, also like those hairstyles back in the day, like when you cut off your hair, it was a statement, or I think it still is a sort of statement. Like you can be feminine with. I feel like every time I'm Spanish, so when my hair gets long, it's luxurious and thick. So there's almost that kind of vanity, like, oh,
Yeah.
my hair. But when you're just cropped up, it's like, yeah, this is just me. This is my face, and this is who I am. Deal with it.
Ladies, I don't have any choice. I don't have enough hair left.
Oh, don't lie. You got this fluff.
Yeah, I got this fluff. Next time, I'll see if I can find a picture, and you'd see the wild hair I had when I was like in my teens and 20s. But you have to get the picture of when you had Pat Benatar going on.
Yes, do it. Do it.
Eden, find that photo.
No, we
Photo.
we don't have any of those here because my mom has all our pictures.
Eden, go to your grandmother's house.
She can scan them and send them.
Yes, make it like an operation, you know?
And that's back when Sun In was popular. I don't know if in my college, I remember I'd let my hair grow out and then I cut it off again in college. And that was back when it was dark. And in high school, I was trying to use that Sun In crap that turns your hair orange.
Oh, yeah. My sister used that.
Sun in sunlight, and you can be blonder tonight.
No,
okay,
you can be like a tangerine.
Where I grew up in.
If your hair's dark, it makes it like a tangerine. It's a nightmare. But anyway, what would you say is your perfect date? Or like one of your positive dates?
One of my favorite dates was in high school. This girl, Eileen, told me that she really liked me, and we went to playgrounds. I went to the center school by Amsterdam and 72nd Street. So we hopped the fence and we hung out by the playground. And the entire night you could hear thunder, but it didn't rain.
Oh.
So you had all that energy in around you.
Yeah, it was so sweet. There was just like lukewarm kisses while we hid underneath the slide because we were expecting it to rain. Like, it was really sweet. That was definitely one of my favorites. I packed a little picnic lunch because I do that kind of nonsense. I love cooking. So it was cute. And since then, I found that a lot of those sentiments, like if I take the initiative to cook something or make something or choose a restaurant that the person likes, makes the experience better. So in my case, I think having that kind of, even though it was when I was a cub, I've learned a lot from it.
You know, there's something to say about reflecting back when we were teenagers or how we dated and felt then, about trying to go back to the simplistic ways of doing it, because it means so much more. Like you were saying, when it was lightning and thundering, now you don't want to get struck by lightning, but when you're doing a picnic or it's in nature or it's more simple, or there's certain songs playing, or you see what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
not it's not something that's grandiose.
Yeah, I mean, if I think back to my teens and 20s, one of the greatest, I don't know whether it was my strategy, but if things were going really great, we used to go down and park and just stroll along the boardwalk. I mean, it was nighttime, the lake was there was a beach, there were so many other people and couples just strolling back and forth, nice moonlight,
Yeah.
and you were just walking together.
I,
Like
I
it
don't.
was, go
I
ahead.
don't want to say that it's like you're making something out of nothing, even though you're just taking the environment around you and
Yeah.
it's making it the extra something.
Yeah, and I mean, it wasn't any big fancy restaurant. There was, the local place that was down by the beach where you could get coffee or ice cream or a cool drink, and you just get it, and you would just walk with each other along a boardwalk, and you just be laughing or doing something stupid, or you try and impress her by doing a handstand, and you'd fall over. All the stupid, silly things that you think that would impress somebody, but it was just good, clean fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And those are the things that you tend to remember the most.
Well, personally, I hate fancy restaurants. I had a horrible date. Lucky for me, the person realized I was feeling really awkward because I had a full blown panic attack. It was like a French restaurant, and I didn't understand anything. So I hid in the bathroom for about 20 minutes until they came up and get me and were like, "Hey, do you want to leave?" And I was like, "Yes, thank God." It was the worst.
And have you ever? I know I ended up on a blind date one time, and oh God bless my heart. It was somebody that I knew begging me to go out with their cousin, and so I was picked up by him and taken to a restaurant. We had nothing in common whatsoever. I could tell he was very interested. You can tell.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I mean, you can tell that he was getting more and more interested, wanting to go out
Yeah.
again. And I was struggling so hard. I wanted out of there so bad. I felt so guilty for going. I felt guilty for him paying for the meal because I didn't want to be there so bad. I could not have been less attracted in him. I was hoping his personality was going to make up for it. No. No and no and no. Have you just been on a date like that you just could not wait to get out of there, and you did not want them to even try to hug you, kiss you on the cheek, nothing?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I went on a date that I didn't even realize was a date until I was alone in his apartment after I already told him I had a girlfriend. And that's when I was like, oh my gosh, I need to get the fudge out.
Hmm.
And then you don't want to hurt their feelings.
No, I will see. I used to work at a comic book store. He was a comic book writer, or he is a comic book writer, so I don't want to say his name. Just as awkward and ridiculous as I am. And I thought we were just friends hanging out. He understood that, or I thought he understood that I only liked a certain type that was not him. But when we got to his apartment, I started to feel very uncomfortable. And sometimes I'll feel someone else's energy, and even though I want to leave, I'll still be nice because I
Yeah,
don't want to hurt their feelings, even though in retrospect it's doing more damage to me.
yeah.
Which is why now I just sort of scream and run away, sort of
Yeah.
like ah!
Are you serious?
Yeah, this is what I do now. I'm 37. I'm allowed to be weird.
I think it's sometimes easier to say, you know what, I have other plans. This has been great. It was nice meeting you. Thank you.
I'm
And
gonna
that's
go
it.
with what Jenny said and just embrace the weird. So if I'm just like, ah, you don't want to see me come back to your house again because you're like, what the hell is going on with that girl?
On another
Yes.
You know, on another YouTube channel when they're doing dating, they're going, I had this one girl that I brought over, and all of a sudden she just turned and screamed and she ran away.
That would be Vintage. Was that you? Yes, that might have been me. Yeah.
No, I've never had anybody scream at me.
Well, it
So-
depends on like you have to scream and like do some kind of like weirdness so like it doesn't register. Because if you just scream,
Yeah, but sometimes that may be a turn on for some people, so you never know.
what people do you know?
I've met a lot of. Remember, I'm older than you, Vintage. I've met a lot of different people.
Yeah,
Good, bad, and interesting.
I'm from New York City.
Yeah, and you know what? I also have friends who are female who are into females, and you know what? You would just fit right in with them.
Probably.
But I'm the world's worst for, well, I was in the past. I speak up more now. At least I'm not dating now. For not wanting to hurt people's feelings. And like trying to do everything in my power when it was a bad date to not want to hurt their feelings. You know?
Isn't it more of a sacrifice? Like afterwards, when you think about what you did, they feel good, but then afterwards, you're just like, gosh, that was like 2 hours of like,
or
lie through my teeth, like it's not you. My stomach hurts or whatever,
Or they go home and you spend 2 or 3 weeks trying to put them off and delay, or I can't this week, or I'm grounded, or that's when I was dating from home until they lose interest.
Yes, but ladies, you have the perfect thing to say, and it's been said to me. It's like, I like you, but I'm feeling more of a friend vibe. Boom. Men will either accept being your friend, or they'll say, well, I want more. Well, I can't give you more. And they'll leave.
It was a little easier in high school because I was a virgin, and the minute they wanted me to give it up and I didn't, they would move on.
Yeah, we men, we really don't kind of mature till our late 20s.
What? I knew that would get a giggle.
But that's how I felt. I thought, we don't. We're kind of like hound dogs, okay?
Look, this is my daughter. They must be watching it in the living room. Eden said, Dad keeps laughing at what Vintage is saying.
Oh.
My husband is watching. Oops.
Hey, Mr. Dana.
Mr. Dana.
That's Mr. Dear Dana.
Mr. Dear Dana.
That's right. We're the Danish Lucy and Ricky in this house.
Oh, my God.
What did Jenny say? The only date I ever went on before I met Pete ended at 10 p.m. and I went home and went out with Pete for the rest of the night.
Jenny, you double scheduled? Oh, multitasker. I've done that.
Oh, who has ever been out on a date with one of their friends?
Exes?
Yeah.
Not knowing until afterwards for me.
How'd that go?
The date was fine, but when you compared notes, and it's like, oh yeah, I hit that, and we hooked up 3 weeks ago. Great. The cross-pollination isn't going to happen. Only happened once. I swore it would never happen again. So now me and my friends check with each other. Have you been with this guy? Have you gone out with this one?
What about you, Vintage?
Oh, dating a friend's ex?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've done that.
How did that go? Did she know?
He knew.
Oh, he knew. And
I slept with his wife.
Ooh!
But were they married at the time?
Before and then after, yeah. She's buying me a plane ticket.
You go vintage. You go vintage.
She's currently buying you a plane ticket?
Well, once they moved to North Carolina, so yeah, once everything eases over, yeah.
So what happened to you're not going to see anybody?
But that doesn't count. They're married. That's not like I want to move on to a relationship and start dating. Like shagging my friend's wife is just shagging my friend's wife. No?
Yeah.
Okay.
You? No?
I look at it this way. Does the hubby know?
Well, I don't know. Oh yeah, hubby knows. Hubby just
Well,
wants to
yeah.
watch.
So
Fine.
okay, so he has an open. They have an open relationship, and you're the guest performer. That's all it is.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Whatever floats your boat, that's fine.
Well, I mean,
Oh yeah.
it's my form of dating now.
No. Vintage.
They're friends.
Vintage.
They're
Vintage.
friends. I've known them for decades. I've known them since I was 18 years old. So, like, I've known them for a while.
Vintage. You may hate me, but I'm calling you out on this.
If you call me a slut, I'm very sad.
Oh hell no, honey. We're in the same community. Trust me. We can't call each other that because we are each other that.
Exactly.
I'm just saying that.
I love to use facial expressions, by the way.
Oh, you can only see me smiling from ear to ear. That's a safe form of dating because you know that there's a start and an end. You know where it starts, you know where it ends. But that's a safe form of dating.
Yep.
It's a fun form, and it can be a lot form, but that's safe.
Well, I guess I can't be a bicycle. I'm a tricycle.
Listen, if I can get down to New York City, we are definitely meeting, and we're gonna have a couple of drinks.
Oh my gosh, yo! Oh, you're setting yourself up to stay single, maybe.
No, it's a safe form, and I've done the same thing. Like sometimes you just get so tired of the energy, and you're like, "Am I going to pull out my A game just to be, disappointed again?" And I get into those ruts. And it's like, this is a sure thing, and it's a safe thing, and I know what I'm doing. But then after a while, it's like, you know what? I got to try some new adventures.
No judgment on my part. Seriously, no judgment. I'm not made like that because I have to have some chemistry and emotional connection.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have to have some chemistry and emotional
Hi.
connection. Hi, Marcy. How are you?
I never.
You have to have some chemistry. Okay, you have to cut down your
Hi.
YouTube.
Is it better?
Yeah, it's just the YouTube part that you have to cut down. Okay.
Yeah.
How are you tonight?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Fine. Where are you from? That's my daughter.
Hey,
Hi. I'm from Iran.
Hey, Marcy.
But right now I'm in New Hampshire.
New Hampshire. But
Yes.
you're originally from
Iran.
It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. I've seen you a lot. I've been watching in different channels.
Yeah.
And I always love your energy.
Oh, thank you so much. They were pushing me to do my own, so I finally got the nerve and jumped.
You did good. Good.
Thank you. So, what has been your worst dating experience?
I had this guy come from New York in a blind date. My cousin was trying to fix us up. And because he came from New York, he drove, I believe. Either took the train or drove. I was in Boston then. He wasn't going to stay with me. So I took him, I had to stay for, the date lasted the whole weekend.
What?
Yeah, but he was at the hotel, so I would go in the morning, pick him up, have breakfast, do stuff, leave him at the hotel. It was just, and there was no chemistry. So, and I was getting my master's degree then, and that was the telltale for me. To me, education is important. And I was talking to him, and I was excited about it and all that, and he disrespected it. He said, for computer science, you don't need a master's degree. What are you doing? So he was trying to convince me not to do what I was clearly passionate about. So that was no.
That was a long weekend.
Yes, yes. And there was no way around it because I didn't want to disrespect, which is a big thing in my culture.
Yeah.
I didn't want to disrespect my cousin who set us up.
Whoa.
I
Yeah.
suffered. Yeah,
Sometimes
yeah,
family and friends
yeah.
really don't
They mean
know
it though,
what
but they
works
do
with
mean
you.
that. Yeah, yeah,
They
But
mean well, but
yeah.
but the other
They
thing
mean
is,
smart.
but the other thing, Marzi, don't let anybody, man, woman, parent, child, cousin, friend, daughter, son, whoever, stop you from pursuing what gives you joy.
No,
If that master's
no,
gives you
I haven't.
joy, yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
just,
no.
you tell them, get
I'm
out of
too
my
old
way.
for that.
Exactly. You tell them, get out of my way. I'm
Yep,
doing what I'm doing for me.
yep, yep. I
Do we,
quit my job. Against everybody. I quit my job about 4 or 5 years ago. 4 years ago, to come and get my PhD. I
wow.
didn't have, so but I did, and everybody was saying, "What are you doing? You have a good job, all that." But it was my bucket list, so I did it.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank
right.
you, thank
Standing
you.
ovation.
I started
Well,
I started my PhD and
yeah,
I have not finished it.
yeah.
I started it a few years ago and haven't finished it.
What's your major? Or what you study?
Psychology.
That's awesome. If I could do a do-over, that's what I would do.
See, I became a psychotherapist, but I wanted to finish and become a
Wow,
doctor
nice,
of.
nice.
But
That's
So does
amazing.
that mean eventually we'll have to say, "Dear Dr. Dana"?
I don't know. I kind of waver back and forth about it.
It's a long haul to get your PhD. It's not just, it's a long haul. I have a couple of friends who've done that for education, and it's a lot of time, a
I
lot of
have
investment,
I
a
have
lot
three
of weekends given up.
I have 3 more years. I
Yes.
think. I
Three
think
more years?
I think I have about 3 more years.
Have you passed the comps? Passed that stage? Comprehension exams? Have you passed that stage?
For the PhD,
Yeah.
no, I haven't gone that far.
Okay.
I,
Because the fun part is after that, because you just get to do your research. And
yeah.
it's what you're interested in, obviously. That's why you picked it.
Well, I mean, I had to do everything in the masters, and I got to do everything that I love to study
Yeah.
for that part. So yeah, I did that.
Uh-huh. It's
Should we
fun. I like it. So
should we have
that's the
a little?
latest. My latest rebellions. That was that. Sorry, I interrupted you.
I didn't hear you. Your latest.
Rebellion. Rebellion? Is that the right word?
I'm hearing static, so that's why I keep
My
having.
latest rebellious act.
Oh, your latest rebellious act?
Yes. Getting my
What was
PhD.
it?
What was
I,
your latest rebellious act?
oh, getting your PhD was your
Oh,
latest
was your
rebellious act.
That's right.
very
I
cool.
I like that. I like that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like some people might have been against you, and the fact that it's on your bucket list. That
It was my bucket list. That's right. That's ticked.
sorry, hang on, sorry, doggy in the room. But I love that.
Oh, little doggy, little
Yeah,
doggy.
So
yeah.
what was your PhD in?
I did an international business with IT as a minor.
Wow.
Yeah.
I took the GRE before I went into graduate school.
Oh, how did you like that?
The GRE,
Yeah.
I liked it kind of because I'm real good at all of the analytical things.
Yeah.
So that was more my style.
Yeah,
But I have a question. Don't you have to write a dissertation for your PhD, right?
that's right.
So what question? What was the basis of your dissertation?
I did a study on impact of digitalization on income disparity.
Oh, that's so cool.
Right?
Yeah, my stepdad, he's an anthropologist, and he did his very similar to Jane Goodall. So he studied chimps in Peru and
Oh
Africa.
wow,
Oh, I love that.
that's amazing.
So
Yeah.
are you going to teach, Marcy?
I am an adjunct faculty, right? I graduated last May, so
Congrats.
everything was shut down, and so now everybody who told me don't go because I quit my job to go have a thing to say that oh now you can't find a job.
It's
So
on your bucket list. It
it's
has to get done.
But you said you're adjunct.
so I am doing the adjunct faculty. I teach part time, but I am looking for a job. But the schools are not hiring right now.
Look online.
I am. I do.
I'm teaching online.
Good. There.
Um, well, you can look on OutSchool right
Yeah.
now because you can create some of your own curriculum.
Yeah.
But
Alright.
the students are only up to 18 there. But some of the
Oh.
I've been looking at some of the universities and they're looking for online faculty.
Yep. I've been
So,
applying.
so
But at this point, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to go back to corporate. What can I do? If I cannot find a job, I have to work. I'm bored. I
yeah,
work so much for these part-time teaching gigs that I never work this hard. But it's fun too. So
but I mean, when I've been looking online, even in my background, I've considered doing some online in the psych for the university.
yeah, that's what I do. I'm teaching at university online.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But anyway, back to
Very
dating.
cool.
yeah.
Back to
I have
dating.
a funny day. I think it's funny. I always, when I say this story, I crack myself up. I was like, this is long time ago. I divorced my husband when I was 24. So this is when I was about 27. And I really like this guy. So we went in middle of Boston, in middle of winter. We went to this bar that was like really grungy. Like when we asked for wine, they said, "Okay, what do you want?" They said, "What do you want?" I said, "Wine," and I'm waiting for them to tell me what they have. They said, "Do you want red or white?" So that it was really grungy. It was really cool. All that. So we're sitting at the table. All of a sudden, I hear gunshots.
Oh
So
no.
I'm diving under the table and pulling him down, and he is just baffled. He says, "What happened?" I said, "It's gunshot." He said, "No, it's the music." So it was part of the music was the gunshot. I came from revolution and war and all that, so I totally went to defense mode. But to this day, I crack myself up when I think about myself.
I can imagine.
That guy.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I used to work at Six Flags over Georgia,
Oh wow.
of all places, and I was a rides foreman.
What?
Yeah,
Cool.
a rides foreman. But when I was in high school, a lot of my old high school friends, they swore that I was working in the Crystal Pistol, where all the dancers were. And a couple of them had come to the Crystal Pistol, and that ex-boyfriend I told you about. Oh crap! I just knocked over a drink.
The
Anyway,
Ram guy, the George Michael guy.
yeah, he went back and told people in the old state that I lived in that he saw me dancing in the Crystal Pistol. He thought one of the dancers was me.
Oh my god.
So the rumor was back in North Carolina that I was one of the dancers in the Crystal Pistol. No, I wasn't.
Yeah. And I bet it was a fun rumor to have.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I was one of the ones that was running the rides.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Cool.
That is
But
so cool.
but I dated somebody out there, and he was doing the old not colonial, but you know the ones that would wear the feathers in their cap and play the mandolin looking, not mandolin, they were
Oh,
round.
like the minstrels, medieval festival
Yeah,
types.
medieval type things. And he was nice looking and stuff. And every day I would walk past him to go to my ride. Didn't know the guy. And I caught him watching me. And I thought he was kind of nice looking and he was older than me. This went on for a while. And then he finally started playing music and walking up to me, right? Trying to be all romantic and, you know, that kind of thing. And finally he got up the nerve to talk to me and slipped me his number. I'm not going to call the guy. So I went to lunch one day and he goes into the dining room when I'm eating and he starts playing music at my table.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
While everybody's watching.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I'm like turning 20 shades of red.
Yeah, I get it.
And wanted to crawl inside my skin. So embarrassed because I know that I'm friendly and seem outgoing, but I'm one of those people that's really friendly and outgoing, but I'm also sort of a little introverted.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to die.
Oh.
So he asked me out, and I said, "If I go out with you, will you stop?"
And he said,
"Yes."
So mission accomplished. Mission accomplished.
If I go out with you, will you stop?
Yeah.
Mission accomplished, people. Ladies, us guys will do crazy things to get a date, to go out with you. Doesn't matter, gay, straight, or whatever. We will do stupid ass things to get a date, to go out.
Exactly.
I mean,
I'll learn how to play the guitar.
He was stalking my life with a mandolin thing.
Like early one morning when I was playing green sleeves and all the rest.
With a feather cat thing in his hair, wearing tights.
You're lucky he didn't work your name into the song.
Oh,
he could have been like, "Oh, sweet Dana, will you go out with me tonight?"
It's Dana. It's Dana, by the way.
It was the fair, so they would probably have to be like, "Oh, Dana."
And he had the mustache and the black hair. But I mean, he was nice looking, and he took me to a jazz restaurant, and we ate dinner and stuff. But he couldn't carry on a conversation to save his life.
Like, what did he
could play an instrument and sing.
Yeah, but he could play an instrument and sing.
That most musicians, yeah.
But I mean, you know,
that's probably why they drink and smoke so much. But you know.
But then after that, he kind of would stalk me with his eyes when I would walk by because we didn't go out anymore. And I'm sorry, but what do you do?
It's not there.
You had one date and then you never went out with him again, and then you still worked together, so you'd have to walk past him every day?
Well, we didn't work in the same department, yeah, but I had to walk past him every day. Wow. I was never mean.
Heartbreaker.
No, but it was obvious that nothing was going on there. He took me to a loud jazz club thing, and we couldn't carry on a conversation.
Another gunshot situation.
Do what now?
Another club gunshot situation where it's just
sort of. I mean, what are you going to do when you're not connecting at all?
But that's a very good point.
Listen to enjoy the music, have a gin and tonic, and then exit gracefully at the end of the date.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to take advantage of him.
But I guess it depends, because in that time, like, certain dates would be like, oh, let's go to the club and we'll just dance and groove it up, and we'll see how we feel and how we jive together. But I feel like in other situations, it'd be better to just have a conversation first.
Oh, but I have to tell you, I just remembered. He put himself, a group of us would go out after, look, Six Flags was like high school. It was like somewhere between high school and college, meaning that when you work at a place like that, everybody gets to know everybody. It turns into like a family thing because you're out in the heat, you're working all these rides, and but people get close. So we would go out and do things, groups of us, and there was a place called Baby Doe's, and you could eat and dance and everything. So my brother would work there too. That guy invited himself to the group
Oh wow.
and was going to try to weasel himself in again. And this was a dance thing. And I love to dance, and me and some guy there had a dance off. You know, like like you do some moves and they do some moves, and it was a dance off kind of thing. So he was going to try to get in there, and no, that's not going to happen. He was going to try to get in there with me and dance and stuff. He was going to try to weasel his way through. So my brother asked one of his good-looking friends that every time he tries to weasel his way with me, that he slips in there with me.
Good brother.
Oh, that's creepy.
To try to keep that guy away from me.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah. Those were the days, honey, when you're trying to...
Those were the days.
I mean, think about it. When you're kind of, I don't know, the energy of people and what's going to happen next and who's attracted to who, and you're young, and again, it's the chase for me. There's something about the chase. I'm bad. I'm a bad person.
No, you're good.
Oh God, no.
Good.
Just naughty, and naughty is good.
We've all been through that.
I like the chase.
There you go.
Well, we all love the chase. But with guys, you pursue, but you're only going to pursue so much because you want to get that signal back, and that's that dance when you're doing the dating and the pursuing and the ebbing and flowing. It doesn't matter which community you belong to. There's always that little dance.
I think women know where the limit is.
Yeah, but I mean, at least from my generation, you used to pursue, but you waited for a signal to kind of like, okay, come a little more.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's been lost.
You're a gentleman. Yeah, of course it's been lost.
Yeah.
I'm so bad at reading it. I never realize when somebody is attracted or they want to go out to a date. I don't see the signals.
Then just treat them as friends and sort of do things that you like to do and that they like to do, and then you sort of see where things go.
Usually it becomes friends. We become friends.
But I mean, even personally for me, just because I'm a paranoid person, I like friend status before I go to romantic status, so I know who you are before I do anything. Because
that's not bad.
That's good. Yeah.
Friend status is good to start with.
Yeah, but sometimes, and this is where you have to read the room and the energy.
Mm-hmm.
When you're in that friend zone.
Oh, the friend zone.
Yeah, that you have to kind of test the waters to see if that's reciprocated. Because if you're in there too long, people will kind of box you in and say, "Oh, well, you're just a friend," and it'll never go beyond that.
Yeah, I know.
So they kind of have that kind of blinders on where they won't see you in more of a romantic light. And that's where if you stay there too long, you can be left there.
But sometimes you can give signals like, I know it's hard when it's online, but sometimes it's the look you give them in the eye. Or sometimes a signal can be just the touch of a hand. Real simple things. That, it gets lost in translation now, I think.
Yes, definitely.
People try to jump to step number 8 before they've hit step number 1.
Yeah. And you got to work up to step number 8. Because if you work up to step number 8 in the right way, not saying that you're not going to have your goof moments.
I don't appreciate. Wait, hey.
No. But I mean, I can tell you right now, it's a lot better spending the night with somebody when you've worked up to that number 8 moment than it is when you try to force it, or if you exit too early or stuff like that. And that's what I try to tell some of the younger guys that I know. It's like, you got to work up to it, and when you do, you have a great time. Yeah, exactly. Stay in their lane. They don't know. Yeah. They don't know, or they cross lanes too early, and it can really ruin something that could be really amazing.
But too, I think that we need to gear back, and you if you're interested in someone and you feel them out and you sense that they're a good person first and foremost, because you really have to get a sense of who the person is. Do a background check. I mean, really, do a background check. Yep. But you have to teach people how to treat you. Really, out of the gate, teach people how to treat you. Don't expect it to wait until the relationship gets more serious and then try to teach them how to treat you, because it's far too late.
Yeah.
And always remember, a call after 11 o'clock at night is a booty call.
Oh.
Booty call.
It is a booty call.
Unless they're in another time zone.
True. And nowadays I've had to remind myself about that. And no, I am not going to become a 90-day fiance. Just saying right now.
Oh my gosh, you can be on that show.
No, and then Dana would have me on here being introduced. And our guest from 90 Day Fiance season 11.
but I'm being serious. Things have become so. I mean, technology is great, and it makes it wonderful to step out of your comfort zone and meet people, and maybe meet them on a different and deeper level.
I've never done that.
But there's also a lot of people that can try to turn into people they're not.
Yeah.
For lack of better. So you have to dig a little deeper and spend a little more time trying to figure out what the truth of the matter is. And that being said, going back, again, you have to go into yourself. Check into your emotional self. Date yourself first. And what I mean when I say date yourself, spend time with yourself, figuring out what you need, what kind of date you want, what makes you happy, what things in your life you're not willing to compromise.
True.
And when you meet another person, if they're wanting you to compromise those things, they're not for you. Because at some point, you're going to resent them.
True.
Very true.
But on that note, ladies, I must take my leave of you.
Yes,
love
we are
you all.
Right
love meeting you, Marzi. Come on back.
I love you.
Big kiss. Oh, I am going to keep track of you, Vintage. You trust me, when I get to New York City, you're going to get me arrested. I know it. Dana always loved coming on. Thanks for having me. People in the chat, you guys have a fantastic Saturday night. Big bear hugs. And when are you on again, Dana?
Listen, it's supposed to be a secret.
Uh-huh.
But Monday, I'm going on to talk about Harry and Meghan.
Oh, I have a very different opinion on that. But I will save my opinions for Monday.
I'm open to all opinions on that.
Okay. I have a theory. Maybe conspiracy theory, but so you're coming on Monday?
Earlier.
Okay, cool.
I'm not sure exactly what time, but earlier.
When is the Oprah's interview airing?
Tomorrow.
tomorrow. It's on CBS in the U.S. and it's on Global if you're from Canada.
OWN? I had OWN? No?
Probably. I don't know if it's on OWN in the States, but
I heard it's not on, so I'm going to have to check it out tonight.
So CBS maybe.
Yeah.
That's right.
And, I never mean to stay on here this long. It just happens.
It happens. We were having fun. Come on, it's Saturday night.
Yeah, moving on. Come on.
It was a great pleasure to meet you, Marzi.
Thank you so much for having me.
And I love you guys so much.
Oh, no. You guys can stay. It's just that I have to go.
In 2 hours.
I really do need to wrap up because we're hitting 2 hours. And I haven't eaten.
Okay. You haven't had dinner?
No. I didn't even eat lunch either.
How can you? Oh my God.
Go have some dinner.
Go eat.
But I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. And I love sharing the stories. And Marzi, please come back.
Thank you.
And of course,
I'll try my best.
And come into the chat. Come online.
I'm too shy. This is very much my comfort zone. It's just the 5 of us, the 4 of us.
You did awesome.
And your husband is in the other room, but it's okay.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, guys.
Later. Have a great night.
Bear hug.
Bear hugs.
Have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. And that was another show. We shared some stories, probably not enough. We were kind of all over the place, but I am so happy that you came, and I will see you next time on Dear Dana. Take it easy, folks. And we are out. Bye-bye.